Right, welcome ladies and gents. This is just a bit of a box office roundup. You read from the title, the main focus here is of course Strange World, which is costing Disney an awful lot of money. Like, we're talking serious cash. There is of course the element of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. You know, it's crossed 700 million worldwide now. That still isn't the break-even point. Break-even point is 750. But interestingly enough, even this article does note that actually receipts are much lower for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is an interesting point of discussion. You know, essentially the receipts are more expensive since the original Black Panther was released. So this article, you know, notes that as a contributing factor for its current monetary success. But I guess counter-programming works as well, because Violent Night has debuted at number 2. So, you know, we can take a look at this as a bit of a case study. You've got Violent Night debuting at number 2, and you've got a kids' film, which this is the season for kids' film, Strange World, bombing. And we're talking like seriously bombing. And I just, you know, I guess that speaks volumes. People just don't want to take their kids to see trash. So let's dive into this, right? Like I say, Black Panther Wakanda Forever has done well. Like, it's retained number 1 at the box office domestically for its 4th weekend of release. I think it's got like one more week now. Next week is then when Avatar releases, if I remember rightly. So it'll get smashed off the box office charts at that point, because Avatar will take the top spot. And then I think Black Panther's sort of money at that point will probably just peter off massively. So it still remains to be seen whether this will even make money, because again, if the break-even point is 750 and it hasn't got there yet, it's going to struggle, I think. But we're not here really to talk about that. But it has done well. Like I said, domestic tally of $393.7 million. We'll get to that in a moment. Like I said, counter-programming clearly does work. Violent Night has done great. Weekend's only new nationwide release, but it's still done really well. This was not going to take down Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It's an R-rated action comedy with David Harbour as the lead, right? Like, it wasn't going to, but has it done well? Yes, done really, really well. Again, for this little film, $13.3 million. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. Ahead of its expectations. You know, this isn't groundbreaking numbers by any stretch, but has it done well? Yeah, it's done really, really well. And it just goes to show it works. And then internationally, it did just over $7 million from 72 markets as well. So it's crossed $20 million worldwide in its opening weekend. Pretty good. Now, it hasn't broken even at all, because again, it cost $20 million to produce. But I think it'll probably do well. I think this will probably break even and make some money. And again, it goes to show counter-programming works. Which, you know, again, when we talk about the likes of Strange World, it says a lot. Now, you know, we have the individuals behind it. You know, it's got 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not crazy good or anything like that, but it's done pretty well. However, let's talk about Wakanda Forever. So it won't come close to matching the receipts of its predecessor, Black Panther, because the original became a cultural phenomenon, eventually earning $700 million in North America and $1.3 billion globally. But the sequel faced, and they talk about this, unexpected obstacles, like the star Chadwick Boseman. Obviously, that was a pretty big obstacle. No one's going to deny that. They say a truncated theatrical marketplace. I doubt that as well. That's not really a thing. People just go to watch good movies now. People are becoming more and more select because they don't have as much money as they did in 2018. But they say, you know, Wakanda Forever is doing reasonably well, at least by adjusted pandemic standards. It's the first movie this year to hold the number 1 spot on domestic box office charts for 4 weeks. True. And they say it'll be only the 3rd movie this year to cross 400 million in North America. It's nearing $700 million with ticket sales currently at $689 million globally. I think it has crossed $700 million now, an updated report. But you can see the difference, can't you? Like I say, the original did $700 million North America. This is $300 million shy of that. It's quite off. Massively off, in fact. Now, the huge box office bomb, and the reason why you came to this video to begin with, Disney's animated adventure, Strange World, collapsed in on itself. $12 million debut. And then it had a 60% decline in its second week. So it took third place, $4.9 million. And it's got a lot of theatres as well. Nearly 4,200 theatres. It's a 60% decline from its opening. Now, the family film has earned $25.5 million in North America and $42.3 million globally. Now, they say this since it cost roughly $200 million to produce, which is interesting because the number of this film is just... It's going all over the place, ladies and gents. Right? It's going all over the place because some people say 130, 180, and now they're like $200 million. What is it? The guesswork... And also, why did it cost so much? Because it looks like absolute shit. But yeah, this will lose so much money. Now, they say it costs tens of millions more to market. Tens of millions more. I mean, let's be kind and generous and round it to 250, right? $250 million. So, production and marketing. Because there wasn't a lot of marketing, admittedly. They say this movie will lose at least 100 million in its theatrical run. It will lose so much more than that, ladies and gents. So much more. Variety here are being very kind. If it's only done, right, for $42.3 million globally, $250 million, you've got a 40% theatrical cut rate as well, is going to lose so much more than $100 million. That's $100 million bare minimum. Bare minimum. What an absolute monumental bomb. A huge bomb for Disney. But like I say, you look at it in comparison to Violent Night, counter-programming wise, an R-rated film. This is the season of family films, people going to watch family films. Strange World should be dominating the box office at this point in time. It should just be, doing really, really, really well. But we're here with this, and Disney just losing it. Losing money. And then you have, again, the likes of Bob Iger doubling down on it and going like, yeah, we're good to go. You're like, what? What? Ridiculous. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this down below. Cheers, guys. Take care.